Y'all, these dirty Obama secrets are being exposed. Let's watch this.
More secrets?
We're gonna see. We're gonna see how good this is. We're gonna see how point this is.
Free.
Yeah.
And has been in the ruling class her whole life.
Yeah.
And she's still lecturing you about how she's a victim of racism. Hillary Clinton, exact same thing. Goes to Wellesley, spends her entire life in the ruling class, and she's still whining about how she's discriminated against. Why are they doing that?
Yeah. And did you ever see, they'll have like pictures of side by side, but it'll be like pictures of like Jimmy Carter's house and Obama's house.
Exactly.
And it totally represents something about the like corroding of our soul.
In a white neighborhood, you should be required to live in the hood if you're Barack Obama and use.
If you're using that card,
use that card. The only reason you got elected was because of your race. You spent your entire 8 years inflaming race hate in our country, and then you go to Martha's Vineyard, the whitest zip code in the world. You're not allowed. You're not allowed to do that.
Wait, what?
On planet
Did he
Earth.
just say that? You could practically hear the silence in the studio after this one. Tucker Carlson's guest completely tore apart the mainstream narrative surrounding the Obama legacy. And let's just say, it wasn't pretty. From identity politics to massive financial gains, this discussion laid everything bare, leaving Tucker Carlson visibly stunned. But honestly, are we even surprised? Because at this point, the hypocrisy is just too big to ignore. Before we dive into the eye-opening truths they just exposed, make sure to smash that like button and subscribe for more deep dives into stories the media won't touch. Did you subscribe? Awesome. Now, let's get into it. All right.
Let's go.
Let's start with a number that might make your jaw drop.
Make it drop.
When Barack Obama took office in 2008, his net worth was estimated at $1.3 million. Nothing crazy for a U.S. senator. Fast forward to today, and suddenly, he's sitting on $70 million or more. I mean, that's quite the upgrade, isn't it?
Right,
and of course, we're all supposed to believe that this massive fortune came solely from book deals and speaking fees. Because it's not like there's a well-oiled machine of influence, favors, and financial back channels operating behind the scenes. Right? Yeah, sure. But let's not stop there. Because it's not just Obama. Tucker's guest broke down how identity politics have become one of the most lucrative businesses in modern history.
Exactly.
And guess who's been cashing in the most? The Obamas, the Clintons, and the Bidens.
Exactly.
It's like a gold mine of victimhood. And they've turned it into a multi-million-dollar industry. Now, here's where things get really absurd. Tucker's guest pointed out something we all should have noticed by now. These same people who constantly lecture the country about privilege, systemic oppression, and inequality are the same ones buying multi-million-dollar mansions in Martha's Vineyard in Hawaii.
Barack Obama's campaign in 2008, first of all, it was just leaving how you feel about the guy aside, it was an amazing campaign. It was unlike anything that had ever been run before.
It was genius.
Yes, it was totally brilliant. It was now, of course, it wasn't what they presented it as. It wasn't like a grassroots campaign. It was,
let's sort of like elect the black guy and get past the race stuff. I loved that.
Well, especially because that was his message.
That was his message. And
let's get past the race stuff.
I love that.
He goes, then I think essentially what happened, and it was around Obama's re-election campaign, this is where things really went off the rails in this country, was that he got in there and continued and expanded all the worst of the Bush policies.
Oh, of course.
And so they almost had nothing to run on, and so they decided to pivot to a culture war instead.
Yep.
Seriously,
Makes
Michelle
sense.
Obama says she lives in fear for her daughters in America.
Child, please.
While simultaneously spending millions on beachfront estates. Are we supposed to believe she's struggling like everyday Americans?
Child,
Because
please.
last time I checked, most oppressed people don't live in $12 million mansions on private islands.
Many of us still live in fear as we go to the grocery store or worry about walking our dogs
Let it go.
or allowing our children to get a license. I mean, just imagine.
Aren't your girls driving?
They're driving.
Yeah.
But every time they get in a car by themselves, I worry about what assumption is being made by somebody who doesn't know everything about them. The fact that they are good students.
I guarantee you their daughters aren't riding all over the hood in Chicago. I guarantee you it's
come on.
And I wouldn't be
And
surprised.
then they got Secret Service protection.
That's what I was going to say. I wouldn't be surprised. They're in the car, Secret Service trailing them.
Please. Come on.
And polite girls, but maybe they're playing their music a little loud. Maybe somebody sees the back of their head and makes an assumption. I, like so many parents of black kids, have to, that the innocent act of getting a license puts fear in our hearts.
Now, let's talk numbers.
Girl, stop.
Because this is where things start to get really interesting. Barack Obama charges around $400,000 per speaking engagement. Michelle Obama, up to $700,000. The Clintons, they've raked in over $230 million in post office speaking deals. I mean, come on. What exactly are they saying in these speeches that's worth that much? Oh, right. They're not being paid for their speeches. They're being paid for their influence. It's a pay-to-play game, and guess what? Regular Americans aren't invited. And if you think this is just about sharing ideas and motivating people, think again. The real money isn't just in speeches. It's in book deals, media partnerships, and charitable foundations that somehow never seem to solve any problems. Just look at the numbers. The Obamas signed a $65 million book deal right after leaving the White House. The Bidens raked in $16 million in just 2 years after stepping down. And let's not forget, the Clintons turned their charity into a $230 million cash machine. And what do they all have in common? They use their platforms to push division and identity politics because it keeps the money flowing.
Absolutely.
I notice a theme here. There are a lot of extremely rich people who are deeply miserable and desperate to have you believe they're victims. What is that?
Yeah, it's great. I mean, LeBron James living in Bel Air, he's a victim. Meghan Markle went downgraded from billionaire to multimillionaire. She's a victim. They want you to know that they're all victims. It's because they're trying to distract us. The truth is that they view us as peasants. They're trying to make it seem like, hey, when the peasants turn against us because they're actually robbing all of them, we don't want them to look at us. We want to make them think that we're one of us. They're not one of us. They're nothing like us. They don't live like us. She has nothing that goes on in her life that is similar to the average American. Yet she keeps trying to use her skin color and her complexion as a way to make people believe that she's suffering, and she's absolutely not suffering. And everyone should be aware that if you're watching this and you think that LeBron James and Meghan Markle and Barack Obama and Michelle Obama are oppressed, you are a fool. You have been fooled. They are doing just fine.
But here's the kicker.
Right.
These same people who constantly talk about equity and justice are the ones actually benefiting the most from corrupt financial loopholes.
Exactly.
They cry about corporate greed, but they are the corporations. They tell Americans to pay their fair share, but they move their money through tax havens and nonprofits.
Exactly.
And they scream about climate change, but somehow they can fly private to their multi-million-dollar estates without a single care. See the pattern yet? At the end of the day, this isn't about race, oppression, or fighting for the little guy. It's about money, power, and control.
That's right.
And Tucker Carlson's guest just laid it all out for the world to see. So the real question is, are people finally waking up to it? Or will the media continue to run cover for them while demonizing anyone who dares to call it out? Let me know what you think in the comments below. And
wow. Well, I mean, but this is nothing new.
They run their campaign.
We know this.
But I didn't know that once they try to run their campaign a different route. But when it fails, like, okay, we got to pick up. Let's write on our whiteboard on things we could talk about that can get our campaign going. Just like you do an extreme title on a YouTube video. It's like, we got to get the eyes over here.
Well, they all were who a person truly is always going to come out. So
ignorant people support them wholeheartedly.
Their true selves have been revealed time and time again when people who weren't afraid to report the true facts shed light onto the Clintons, the Obamas, and the Bidens. How much did Joe and them rack up when they was in presidency?
Oh, ridiculous.
All the people his whole family he pardoned, right? There was nothing. There was no crime brought against them. So in the event something comes up, since Doge is doing a sweep, clean comb through, just in case.
Who gonna pay Biden to go do speaking engagement?
He's lucky that Trump don't have him locked up, but he didn't pardon himself. How about that?
You think somebody gonna pay Biden a good chunk of money for speaking engagement?
No, not now. Maybe the Biden back then on that picture we just saw.
Right, the young, but he is not favored.
But not him now.
He's not.
Please, he might freeze. He might freeze up. Let me stop. Woo.
Fall like Mitch McConnell just did on stage today.
Mitch McConnell fell?
He fell going towards the stage.
Oh my gosh. I mean, I feel like there should be an age limit. I'm sorry.
That's what they said that's what they were saying on X.
They need to have an age limit as to when it's time for politicians to retire.
You're in your 80s. Go and get out of here. Get out of here.
Just because you are a certain age doesn't mean that you're capable.
But I was going to say, just to take that back, man, people are going to be stupid to the end of time and keep looking at these people like your Obamas, your Clintons, your Bidens. Like these were the people that allowed were the strength in democracy. These are the people that fought against the man. No, these the people were the worst and the absolute unnecessary and did nothing for you.
Go and
nothing
look
for your
it up.
pocket.
Why did she not win the presidency? Why did she not go to jail? Why did she demolish the computer with all the evidence on it? What happened to the computer? Why was she not locked up? Because Trump did not want to do that to a president's wife. But he said she should have been locked up. She broke the law. She had some stuff on there that she shouldn't have had. Talking about some stuff that wasn't all the way legit. The computer the evidence was
I have a big, and I'm gonna end it on this. I have a big problem that people that tell you that pay your fair share of taxes, but I'm making all kind of money and I'm ducking my money off over here. But pay your fair share. I'll show you my tax return. Yeah, no, show them all of it. Show them where it moved. Show them the accounts where it entered from this account and went to that account, and how you were able to start paying everybody out of the account so it can make it look legit. So, man, come on, bro. Come on, get out of there. Bye.
Well.
Bye. Going out there. Get.
The Purge. When I see them, it makes me think about the movie The Purge. It really does. Because behind the scenes, the puppet masters, the people who were seeing, who put that into place and all that, those were the wealthy, rich, and half of them were politicians.
All right, y'all, man. 2025, it's time to thrive, time to make more money, get better with your family, be better husband and wife, man.
And keep finding out the information for yourself, you guys. We already tell you that. Keep doing the research, keep digging, keep finding out the truth for yourself, and don't let anybody pull the wool over your eyes to make it seem like it's something else when you know what it is.
Not anymore. All right, y'all. We'll see you on the next one.